Kyle, I think they both recognize it. Yeah, you can score some points and you can go up and down and try to outscore people, but it really helps and starts at the defensive end of the floor to get some stops and to build consistency. Because as we've all talked about from game to game, that defensive effort should be there.
Xavier in the road blue, Villanova in the home white. The tip belongs to the Musketeers. Our officials are James Breeding, Lee Castle, and Tony Henderson for meeting 35 between these two teams. Ten on the shot clock on the opening possession for the Musketeers. This is Davion McKnight. They said if we can get a good game out of him, it could turn our season.
Yeah, and I think he has to make good decisions, obviously, you know, in terms of when he comes out with his assist, you know, per game and the lack of turnovers. I think they need one of those on the road right now from him.
From the corner, that three off out of the hands of Wooga Poplar. Xavier coming off a win over Georgetown.
Yeah, they play with good pace, but keep in mind the balance of the Villanova defense. Little squeeze to the middle of the floor. You see a couple of guys hanging there right now.
Zach Fremantle, short on the three.
He has to lift that one up a little bit. Gets that look. I think he'll get a couple of looks right now. Defensively, they'll probably give him that room on the perimeter.
Longino's been taken off in Big East play, close to 15 points per game as we hit 12 on the shot clock. On the back down, Buachi, not Buachi.
And that little extra lean got him exactly where he wanted to be on the left side of the basket just then. Nice entry, and the Villanova fans can sit down. Waiting to sit, and they stand until somebody scores.
Fremantle with the right hand. And the top six scorer in the Big East starts 0 for 2 in this one.
And a little slide over there by Dixon to stay with him, get under his chest a bit.
Jim, to your point, Xavier top 20 in the country in fast break points. Villanova, they would prefer it to be this type of half-court game. 7 on the shot clock, it's Poplar. Wooga Poplar was stripped. Buachi underneath. Buachi with one hand had 2 points the whole game against DePaul, already with 4.
Yeah, it looked like Fremantle had his shirt, pulling his shirt from behind on that one, tucked in between the traffic there so the officials couldn't detect it.
There's Dalen Swain.
That's an extra.
It sure is, says James Breeding.
So you need some points in the paint. And here's that first one. Watch the extension right there. Get around the corner, gets the shoulders going towards the basket. And a little tougher right here. You see his shirt being pulled a little bit. You see the 1-3, the 13 being pulled away from his back. Good delivery, though.
When you think about it, Jim, if they get any other scoring from that main core beyond Dixon, Poplar, Longino, Kyle Neptune said that's the added bonus we need. As Xavier Brickus is short.
That's the one they can use. Brickus will hit that shot, though. Nice little 10-footer from the corner.
McKnight lost the handle on it. Interestingly enough, Jim, wasn't something when Sean Miller said to us pregame, Villanova's not necessarily trying to turn you over. We can't do that in this game and win.
Yeah, no, they cannot, you know, what we refer to as those unforced turnovers. Just have to be precise with the basketball, make good decisions. Villanova man-to-man defense, switching a lot out front. Look at the attention to detail when they go towards the paint.
Fremantle connects.
Much better look just straight away. Got his legs underneath him a little bit better, though, but once again, using the clock. Have we had a whistle yet?
We have not.
We're coming down to 16 minutes on the clock already.
Zach Fremantle entering this game 28% on the season from 3, 17 of 60. A welcome sight for the Musketeers as here's Poplar. Tough off the dribble with the Poplar.
I love the fact that, you know, with Villanova right now, as they pass that basketball around, you know, protecting the basketball, only 10 turnovers per game. So they are pretty consistent with their passing.
McKnight heaves. He's off. Battle for the board. It belongs to the Wildcats.
Going a long way right now without the whistles being blown. No need to have them blown, but maybe most of these guys want to go see the Super Bowl tonight.
I think that's on the minds of a lot of people. And what they'd like to have is a repeat of 2018, when Villanova beat Seton Hall on Super Sunday, and then the Eagles beat the Patriots that night in Super Bowl 52.
Very good.
McKnight backdoor. Dalen Swain's taking his game to the next level.
Yeah, and I like the look, too. McKnight under control just then, really perusing the traffic underneath, gets to the middle of the floor, so good things are going to happen if you find the middle of the floor. So no up and down running yet, just all half-court sets in this game.
Swain coming off a career-high 18 against Georgetown as we get a foul on Marcus Foster.
Just for the record, that was a whistle, John, if you were wondering what was happening just then. Here comes the action. Fremantle straight on. Good-looking shot from behind there with the rotation. Same season. You know, there's going to come a game or two or three that you're going to need somebody to take over, especially in the last 3 minutes of a game that you know that you can call their number and get a good look out of them.
Out of the timeout, Poplar heaves and hits. Ruga Poplar with a sharp start.
Yeah, nice little set just then by Villanova, running over the double screen up high. Little decoy going to the basket. If that's open, you'll go with it. Oh, a little turnover here in the exchange.
Third already by Xavier, but how about the ability of Conwell to get it right back? Jerome Hunter is checked in for the Musketeers as Fremantle's fouled by Longino.
Well, here's that set. See Poplar to the right. Watch the drive. Here's that over-the-top screen on the double screen, so it brings two players to the basket, and that allows your Poplar to go out away from the basket, get a wide-open shot. So good delivery just then by him in the shot, but better execution on the screens. Nice shot there.
Zach Fremantle, who Sean Miller literally told you moments before this game had some threes in him.
Don't want him shooting too many of them, but if he's going to get those open looks. Who's coming out to the perimeter? Shoots it around 28% on the season.
6 lead changes out of the gates. Into Dixon, one of the nation's best, and he was stripped.
Yeah, good hands from behind there, McKnight. He was looking Fremantle right in the eyes, too.
McKnight off to Conwell.
Here we go with a little bit of pace.
Marcus with a kick. Dixon.
Wow.
Eric Dixon way off.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that shot there.
Shot clock did not reset. Poplar, bring it up.
Not sure about that shot. A little bit forced in the right corner by Dixon, though. A little ball fake. Defender didn't budge at all.
Talked about tempo. Villanova's 346 in the country in adjusted tempo out of 364. Fremantle with the left hand is off.
Just getting him adrift. Dixon stayed with him just enough. Well, look at this crossover.
Rickus was rejected.
Maddox coming back on that one.
Poplar gets it right back, though, for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I thought Brickus could have gone with a little bit of a reverse to the left side there, would have had a layup.
Poplar was long. Tapped out to the Musketeers. Here is Dante Maddox all the way to the rim.
Good effort at both ends of the floor for Maddox. He's had 4 games this year where he scored 14 points or more, so he has it in him to get some points on the board. He averages 6 a game.
An all-MAC player transferring in from Toledo. And a fun start to this one. Both teams 6-6 in the Big East. Winner moves into 5th in the league. Dixon with 6. They really defended him in the first meeting, and they do so here. Conwell on the take, cannot connect, And Perkins corrals.
Yeah, to your point, John, Dixon in that first game he had 18 points, but he was only 6 of 16 from the floor.
Ooh, 10 on the shot clock. Poplar with a little shove. Here's Brickus. Brickus turns it over. So Villanova now with 4 turnovers. McKnight took a hit, and he'll go on the line for a pair after our timeout.
Well, Sean Miller looking for it from both ends of the floor. Here's that blocked shot by Maddox, and what happens down the other end? They convert. Look at them getting away, fans.
No, it's not, but they're ready for the big game.
Oh, they are.
Just Benarkle, there have been bucket getters, particularly the last 13 years in this conference, that have led the country in scoring.
Yeah, you look at these numbers with McDermott and Howard and now Dixon. And the one thing about that, John, is when you are on a page like this in a graphic like Dixon is, the defensive team, in this case Xavier, is really going to start looking at you and for you. This is a tough shot going away with the defender coming up just a touch. Now he gets double teamed on the blocks. You start to push and press a little bit. And then here, I didn't like this one here. I'm sure Kyle Neptune didn't like that. And the results were not good at all. He's scoreless with 2 turnovers. And Nova in their last 7 trips have 4 turnovers. So got to right the ship, but some pretty good numbers so far this year. Look at that, just under 24 points a game. Nice steady rebounding with it.
Look, Jim, great players, you talk with coaches, are typically going to get theirs. Even yesterday, Auburn's Janai Broom had 18 points, but it took him 19 shots to get there as Florida took down the Tigers. Look at it thus far, and you look at the first meeting, Dixon had 18 points, but as you said, it took him 16 shots.
And Cooper Flagg a little bit last night in the Duke game. Struggled in the first half a bit, came on it in the second half late in the last 10 minutes. So yeah, teams, they pay attention. They know who's leading the league in scoring and the conference in scoring.
There's also, and I'd love to get your thought on this, the dynamic in this conference that you see everybody twice and perhaps 3 times.
And that makes it even more difficult because, when you don't see teams but once a year and you may be playing 2 or 3 days before, the scouting report has to be jammed into a day or 2. Here, these guys know one another. They know their styles. It's no secret that Villanova will play a methodic half-court offense, and it's no secret that Xavier likes to go up and down.
John Hughley is checked in. It's it back.
Get some good minutes from him would be nice. Little advantage here in the blocks.
They brought a double. Hughley lost the handle on it. Back to Villanova.
See that double coming, you have to release it quicker than that.
So a 5th turnover by the Musketeers, who enter this game with 1 quad 1 win. As it stands right now, this is the remaining quad 1 opportunity for them in their resume. They still get Creighton at home as well. That's a big jam. Buachi already has 6.
Yeah, Buachi is just camping himself in the right spot. And they're delivering the ball to him so he can just catch it and go with it rather than have to worry about dribbling the basketballs a big.
Our 9th lead change.
Xavier only turns the ball over 12 times, so it might be another one. Yep.
That's the 6th Xavier giveaway.
So they're halfway home, and we're halfway through the first half.
Poplar getting downhill. Can't connect. Tapped out. Perkins, the transfer from Penn. He's got a jumper.
Nice looking jumper, too. Kind of reminds me of Jalen Brunson's jumper a little bit right there. The left hand pull up.
That's some praise any player would appreciate. It's smooth, and Sean Miller, he's tired of the turnovers. He calls a timeout.
So here's the action for Villanova just then. Nice little pass. See, it's great when you can get the big guy the ball and he just takes 1 stride to the basket. No help, I think. When you look at nowadays, they have kids playing at 3, 4, 5 years old. You can overdo it a little bit, but it's amazing if he started 16, how good he is and how great understanding he has of the game. And Villanova changes it up with his own right now.
Dante Maddox gets to the middle of the lane and connects.
So Many times you think it's just about passing the ball, which it is, but driving past that front line of defense, you'll generally get something in the paint area. You'll get it dumped down for a little layup for your big.
Longino. Jordan Longino.
There's that high screen. Xavier's going to have to make a decision. Villanova will shoot the basketball overall just, about 40% from the three-point stripe on the season.
Fremantle short. Tops in the Big East are the Wildcats in three-point shooting, and in efficiency, nationally, they're top 5.
Fremantle that last trip, just a little bit of a fade away from the basket. Causing his shot to be short.
Here's Longino. Playing the best basketball of his career. Short on this attempt, and it's Swain.
Look at the balance. 4 Villanova players back, the white shirts.
Foster heads.
Well, that's the downside to getting back that quickly. You go back to the middle of the floor, you defend, you're kind of taught, even though it's changed a bit now, to make sure nobody gets a layup, and you're tucked away into the middle of the lane, and nobody's there to pick up the trail 3.
Xavier 9th in the country in fast break points with 16 per game. They're second in three-point percentage in the league to Villanova. 10 on the shot clock. It's Dixon against Fremantle, 2 of the best in this conference. Offensive rebound, Buachi, who's making an impact. And we got a foul. It's on Comwell.
Pretty good one early on here. Moving quickly without the whistles early, but now all of a sudden picking up. Longino right here. Gets a little rhythm underneath him because of that good screen out front. And then the long-range jumper.
Patriots were going to have that undefeated perfect season. And look what the Giants did. Eagles tonight. They deny Kansas City of history.
Okay, that's what you're going with.
Yep.
For now.
Right. Dixon finishes Villanova up 3. What do you make of the game thus far?
I think the pace is Villanova's style right now. I think, Dixon, that's his first bucket, first look that he got clean. Nice set out of bounds by Kyle Neptune.
Marcus Foster with the finish, and he's coming off a double-double with 17 and a career-high 13 rebounds in the win over Georgetown earlier this week.
And plus, it's been a pretty clean first half, too, in terms of the fouls. Both teams with just 2 fouls. Clock is disappearing pretty quickly.
Longino off the dribble. There's a nice crossover into the bucket.
Yeah, a guy who can shoot the ball off the dribble like that, first instincts I have is let's see if we can force him left and make him make a play going to his left. I'm sure he can do that, but not as comfortably and confident as he is going to his power hand.
17 or more for Longino in 3 of the last 4 games. Swain with a runner. Rebound to Buachi.
And once again, just a clean play by both teams defensively.
Dixon.
Really focusing on Dixon, both in the paint area and also on the wings and the perimeter.
8 on the shot clock. Poplar off the dribble. That was a tough shot, and Xavier got the stop. Foster with Swain, Conwell, Maddox, and Fremantle for Xavier on the floor right now. Foster, the transfer from Furman, part of an NCAA tournament win over Virginia. Now 2 years back. Fremantle with a kick. Foster in and out. Deflected, it stays with the Musketeers.
Yeah, that was a good set. Nice move there, too, by Fremantle. Getting that ball in the blocks. He was going to be double-teamed. He kicked it out for a nice, easy, open 3. One of the things, too, here, John, maybe it has to do with the Eagles playing in the Super Bowl, but the crowd size is not real big here. And so Villanova has to generate a little bit of this energy on their own and get these fans involved.
With 12 on the shot clock, here's McKnight, and he traveled. That is a 7th Xavier turnover.
And you mentioned it a moment ago, Sean Miller trying to get them to avoid that, because they're getting pretty close to their season average here in the first half. the pace has not been that fast either. Generally, you look at a faster pace game and you turn the ball over when you go into the basket a little bit on the breaks.
Longino short.
Yeah, he drifted back just a touch on that one instead of coming forward with his shoulders.
You're right. Xavier only averages 12 giveaways a game. They've been in the positive in turnover margin this season. Not thus far today. Fremantle with a spin like clockwork.
Yeah, he knows exactly where he wants to go with that move just then. He kind of baited the defender, going to his left, but he knew right from the beginning he was looking for his little jump right-handed push shot.
To think Fremantle started college in 2019. There's a great feature on him earlier this week on how he's fought through so much injury adversity, and now Sean Miller said this is his last act. He wants to go out making the big dance.
Yeah, this is where you want to make a run, no question about it. So important to guys like that.
Desperation coming out of both these teams this afternoon. A kick to the corner. Maddox took contact. He'll go to the line for three after this timeout.
He got run over. Good call from the officials. Pretty evenly matched afternoon of basketball so far. There's that fake to the left, but he knows he's coming back for that jump hook.
Versus 6 and 7.
Yeah, and plus you're leaving this team, the one who loses is dropping behind you, so there's a little psychological boost to it when you do that. But I think also, I mean, the pace has been good. Like, I mean, if you look at your wristwatch right now, this game is just moving along. It's unbelievable how quickly it has been moving in the first, with 4 minutes left. And that can slow down in a hurry.
The Spinarco household has appetizers in the oven already, right?
You've anticipated well.
What's on the menu?
I'm leaving it up to my daughter Stephanie. We're going to her house, not at my house this year.
Well played.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Both good for Dante Maddox. Think about this too. Ryan Conwell.
Entrees or, oh, I'm sorry.
In my house? Well, all kinds of things.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good, I'm sorry.
But the main course is wings. So let's just start right there. Oh, that's
nice
a turnover by Villanova.
Hands. Real good hands by Foster. Nice play back behind.
Scramble for it. How about the effort of Poplar?
So we haven't seen but maybe 30 seconds of pace like this so far.
Poplar, short. Villanova hasn't scored in 3 minutes. Maddox again. Dante Maddox has 10. Xavier has either side's largest lead.
Yeah, sometimes you think too, John, with Xavier's pace, and people think, generally speaking, the pace is going up and down. You're looking for layups, but here's the case right there. They were looking for a spray out three on the break.
Think about this. Ryan Conwell hasn't scored. He had 34 in the first meeting, but it's been Maddox who's taken that role for Xavier with 6 on the shot clock. Tyler Perkins, smooth.
That's real good work, too, out front by Dreckus. Just dragging people towards the middle of the floor and then reversing the basketball. Well done on his part.
A LaSalle transfer to a Penn transfer, now at Villanova together. It ended a Xavier 8-0 surge.
Dixon stopping McKnight going to the hoop there, the big guy.
Fremantle got a step on Buachi, but Buachi stayed with him.
Sure did. I thought he was going to stop. Fremantle was going to stop for a second on a dime.
Corner three for Poplar. Villanova's 5th triple.
Real good effort. Poplar's doing a good job looking for shots, making things happen on the break just then. Another spray out to the left corner.
Just like that, 6 straight for the Wildcats. Maddox, he is red hot and stays that way. 13 in the first half, 4 of 4.
And a nice recognition, too, how to play off a Fremantle screen. Fremantle set a nice one, and then it's really up to Maddox to find the spot on the floor that gives you a little bit of separation.
Only averaging shy of 6 points per game. Did come up big in the win over UConn 2 weeks ago with 14. Poplar, he's feeling it too. Got his own miss, Ruga Poplar.
See how good players get to their strong hand too, more times than not. And that time I think Foster has to do a better job of directing him to the left and not letting him come back to the right.
The two leaders from last game, Comwell scoreless, Dixon just 2 points, but Poplar and Maddox have matched each other with 13.
Well, both coaches know that they need an extra guy to step up.
3 on the shot clock. Whoa. Around the horn, Maddox out of control, and that's a complete defensive possession by Villanova.
Yeah, sure was, and Maddox understood at about the 3-second time on the clock that he had to get a shot off, but just couldn't get any balance to get some strength underneath him.
9th turnover by Xavier. I think we know what might be on the halftime menu for Sean Miller.
Not appetizers and not chicken wings.
No.
Nice look.
to Perkins.
See how he fumbled the ball?
Brickus is wide open.
You get a layup there if he catches the ball, and instead you get a missed 3.
Got a 15-second difference between shot and game clock here, just over that. Sean Miller's already used the timeout.
Yeah, with fouls to give, too. Nice look over the top.
That was just perfectly done. McKnight from Comwell.
Yeah, that's a Sean Miller execution just then. You look for the blind look. You hope that the defender doesn't get over the screen, number one, and doesn't look and find the basketball. That was well executed.
You couldn't have put that more in the basket.
And watch, off the screen, see Perkins never finds the basketball. And from a passer's standpoint, you're looking at your offensive player going over the screen, but you're more importantly looking at what the defender's looking at. You just go right over the top. I'm surprised teams don't run that play more often.
Well, Jim, the other thing is there, and it's a credit to Comwell because of the find. It's not the easiest pass in basketball, but he made it look that way.
Yeah. Well, that will be an easy one because if you read the defender correctly after your offensive player going over that screen, if he's not looking at the ball, you're just looking at the back of his head. That's the perfect time to throw it.
Take me through here. 21.8 ticks in the first half. Kyle Neptune calling time. How do you approach things here if you're the Wildcats down a pair?
I think you try to make something happen off the bounce and look for your pull-up jumpers because we've seen a bunch of those. I think Brickus will be involved, obviously. But I'd also look from the perspective of Xavier. You know, they only have 2 team fouls right now. So if they get in trouble, they can reach and create a fouling opportunity, and it's not going to really hurt them. And sitting out there, if you're Brickus, this is playing right to their hands in terms of being able to foul sooner or later.
Xavier's got those fouls to use. Haven't used them. Brickus out of control. Perkins cleans it up. A heave by McKnight. And that does it for the first half. We've got a tie ball game.
I like the way he used the screens out front to get a couple of his three-point shots off.
And we are where we started. A tie ball game at 33. So I guess the question then to you is, Dr. Spinarco, what do you think it'll end up coming down to?
The one who scores the most points. Really calling me doctor. That's a stretch.
Eric Dixon.
Yeah, double teams from behind. On the scouting report, obviously, they do not want him to get untracked.
Foster with an entry to Fremantle. 8 points in the first half. The left-hander is short. And we've got a foul on Dalen Swain.
To seriously answer your question, though, what I think will make a big difference in this second half, we touched on it just a bit, will Villanova. I mean, they average about 15 free throws a game. And that's second fewest in the conference. Do they basically get themselves to the line a little bit more? Because you need to steal some of those free shots.
Luka, Poplar can't miss. 16 points.
You hit those threes like that, obviously it goes against the grain of what I'm saying, but I think there's got to be a blend of not only shooting that long ball, but getting to the free throw line and putting it on the deck and going after the basket.
Swain to Fremantle. That's automatic.
That's a great look, too. Nice set on the right side. Fremantle with a terrific screen. What a lot of people don't realize in this game is that if you set a very good screen, you're generally going to be open after it.
brought it up with Xavier. It's not about generating offense as we get a foul here on the Musketeers.
Not well with the big reach out front. Just that half-court set. And here's that one on the left side for Poplar getting that shot off. And watch a good, strong screen, and then just a simple roll to the basket. Nothing you can do about that if it's executed like that.
Second half defense has been a concern for Xavier. Last two games have combined 89 points allowed. And now Poplar is just in a different zone. He's got 19 points, and Sean Miller does not want to see that defense again.
No, he doesn't want to see that defense again, but he also has to tell everybody that number 5 is a guy you have to take a look at. I mean, he's wearing 5, he's scoring on us, and nobody is really paying attention to
Fox Sports.
I'm sure Sean Miller talked about the three-point shooting for Villanova, too, during that timeout. They are top 10 nationally in terms of their percentage shooting it. Nice work out front, another turnover.
Come out of the timeout, and a giveaway by Conwell, the 10th by Xavier. We have not seen either team lead by more than 5 in this game, but Jim, you said it. Villanova, they haven't taken a free throw, but you have a shooter like Poplar right now. It's the difference.
Well, let's see what Xavier does to keep an eye on him a little bit more. Number 5 in white, left corner. With the corners spread out, right corner, excuse me, and the left corner filled out also.
Dixon is off. Eric Dixon is just 1 of 6 in this game. McKnight tries. Rickus with a little stop and go. Longino driving on McKnight, looking for Buachi.
Buachi had a couple of buckets like this in the first half.
Fremantle guarding him, and Buachi beat him.
Buachi just had to gather it up. It took him about 2 or 3 times to get that strength underneath him with the legs to explode to the basket.
8 points, 4 boards, 4 of 4 from the floor.
I think Xavier has to start pushing it towards the bat. There you go. Push it towards the basket a little bit off the bounce. So you get the big guy down low. Let's see him right here. Watch, 1. And boom, finally goes right into it. A couple of trying to get his footwork down, just a little slow.
Sion Mosley will come in for Eric Dixon after he commits his first foul.
I think if Xavier starts to drive it towards the basket a little bit, I think that'll help them with the pace of this game to be able to pick it up a little bit, because the pace right now is really in Villanova's favor in terms of just forcing the action to the outside.
Foster short on the 3.
And then pushing it down. Watch Brickus, but he's not going anywhere.
Longino on the back down. Jordan Longino can't finish, and it's Comwell.
Here's an opportunity to get something in the open floor. There you go.
Comwell gives all the way to the rim. It's McKnight.
Yeah, it's just basic basketball. John, when you're struggling to get things happen, push the ball up the floor and continue to push it right at the basket. Not many opportunities so far this afternoon for Xavier on that pace that they like to play.
Xavier at the top of the charts in fast break. Villanova near the bottom. 346 in tempo in America.
Look at the attention that Poplar's kind of bringing to himself.
Poplar again, man. Have a day, Wooga. 21 points.
Wow. And that one had a little bit of fall away from the basket.
Fremantle comes right back at the Wildcats.
Yeah, they got to start doing the work in the paint. They want to just stick around here. Only down 4, drives and look for post-up opportunities for Fremantle, because he will make a good pass out of a post for you.
Poplar is on a heater. He scored half of Villanova's points. Rickus pulls short, and the Musketeers get another stop. Maddox stops on a dime. That is good for Dante Maddox, who has 16 points.
Very close to a travel just then, too. It just didn't look natural, that little pull-up jumper just then. The jump shot looked very good, but the footwork just a little bit off, I thought.
And right back to a one-point game. Here's Longino with the shot clock down to 10. It's at 7 into the hands of Brickus. Brickus with 5. Brickus with 3, he lost it.
Watch from behind.
Conwell can't hit the bunny. Put back does go. It's Foster.
Yeah, that's a great effort by Foster to run the floor too, because Conwell had himself a layup. Just rolls out on him, and Xavier's a little happier than Villanova for this break. He's a pretty good decision maker. He'll pass out of the post and free up your shooters, but if you can get a couple and steal a couple down low with Dixon, maybe that'll get him on track for the rest of this game. They're going to need him.
Xavier has scored 7 straight. That prompted the Neptune timeout. Just after Villanova started the second half strong. Here's Dixon trying to ignite.
He's struggling from the outside, so he turned away that long-range shot, which is smart.
Perkins hits.
Nice little roll this afternoon for Perkins. Just taking clean looks, getting the looks, and stroking away.
10 points on 4 of 4.
Look at Fremantle. He's open if you give it to him. There you go.
They did.
He's got to go fast now.
Taking on Dixon and connecting.
They were a second late getting him that ball, but then they finally found him. That's once again Fremantle setting a good screen, rolling to the basket, throwing a little confusion at Villanova.
The Fremantle-Dixon matchup, 2 longtime vets in this league. Perkins attacking. Got Fremantle in the air, but couldn't connect. Great effort.
Terrific effort. Just flat out terrific effort. Look at Fremantle just slides from the left side of the paint to the right side. And once again, big guys are very, very good at understanding where the basket is and where their footwork has to take them to get a shot off.
Another 3 for Maddox. Bullseye. Dante Maddox. 19.6 of 7 on the game.
They're just picking up the pace a little bit too. They're getting their rhythm. They're getting the confidence as a team.
Longino to Perkins, who's been feeling it. Rebound to Maddox.
Yeah, got away with that one because they left him wide open. Good activity here from left to right and back again. Oh, look at Fremantle in the middle.
It deflected off the Wildcats. It'll stay with Xavier.
Maddox at 37% from the three-point stripe. And then a little bit of space. Bench appreciating that opportunity.
This is a 12-3 Xavier run. Conwell, he hits. And the Musketeers have caught fire.
And the last person they need, Villanova, to see getting a hot hand is Conwell after those first game numbers earlier in the year that you mentioned early on, where he had that 34 points, career high.
Villanova was up 6 just a few moments ago. Perkins, he's sizzling on a Sunday. 13. Jim, you've been using that word pace. It just feels like Xavier has figured out a groove. An offensive foul, though. Yeah, that's Jerome Hunter.
Yeah, it's going to be Hunter moving. Number 78% free throw shooting team for Xavier, and we always know that Villanova is terrific too at 80%.
Poplar, he's been the man all day. That time he gave it off to Dixon, who continues his struggles. Just 1 of 7 for the nation's leading scorer.
That was his best look too, I think, from the three-point stripe this afternoon. There you go. Nice opening.
Fremantle got downhill. Dixon stood him up. Poplar corrals.
Both teams have done pretty well.
That time Dixon finds it. We're tied.
Both teams, I was going to say, John, have done a pretty good job in defensive transition this afternoon.
7 ties, 16 lead changes. The winner of this game moves into 5th in the Big East. Top 5 get a Big East tournament first round bye a month from now. Poplar into the hands of Fremantle. He lost control. Well, Xavier turnover.
Just when we spoke a little bit about the lack of turnovers in the second half, getting away from him that trip. And here's that little bit delay. That's a long 3 for Dixon, but finally seeing that ball go through on a smooth jumper. Let's see if that helps him as we go forward here.
Jim, this feels like a 4-5 game in a conference tournament. It's been that even.
Yep. Just under 11 minutes, plenty of time. Here we go, watch out.
Eric Dixon.
There you go, one time seeing it, now all of a sudden he's more confident. See if they try to ride him a little bit. I'd still like to see him on the blocks once or twice.
Foster, Hunter, Swain, Conwell, Maddox.
Look at this switching out front.
Maddox is having a day.
What was that?
He was fouled.
He thought somebody was going to step right in front of him just then to try to block the shot. Thought he could have just lofted that right over the front of the rim. So here's Dixon going to his power side. Nobody at home. Good read by him from the outside. And see, I think Maddox, he thought that somebody was going to be in his way to block that shot.
Didn't look like much for Dante Maddox on the contact, a 78% free throw shooter. Xavier top 20 in the country. 78%. They're threatening the program single season record as Maddox hits both, and we are even at 54. Dixon, now he's heating up.
Yep, got him on the blocks. Good call by Kyle Neptune. Run that again, I think, the next time down. Because he's smart enough to pass it if he gets double teamed. And they will double team him, I'm sure.
He scored the last 7 for Villanova.
Nothing going to the basket for Xavier. Trying to turn the corner here.
Foster stuck with Perkins on him. Foster off the heel. Hunter fighting for it. Swain ducks in. We're tied.
Swain could have just watched that play, too, from about 5 or 6 feet away, but he stepped into the fray, ends up getting a bucket for it.
This the capper of a high-drama weekend in college basketball with number 1, Auburn, number 2, Duke falling yesterday, and in the Big East. St. John's winning at UConn. Creighton beating Marquette.
This is where he has to release the basketball.
Dixon and 1. Eric Dixon has ignited.
They're putting Villanova on his shoulders right there. I thought he was going to be triple teamed, but he was they were squeezing on him, and he forced the action. That's where it's nice to have that frame. 6'8", 255, powering his way to the bucket. Here's the one underneath that initial post up. I like that one. Kyle Neptune ball on that one. Here, see, he's getting double teamed and still goes right through Swain.
Just 2 points through the first half. Missed his first attempt in the second. Things were not looking good, but Jim, it didn't take long for him to score the last 10 points for his team.
Well, that's where you just, on night and afternoons like this, you just got to, as a scorer, you just have to keep plodding along and just hope something good happens. And we've seen in the last 2 minutes, 2 or 3 good things happen for him.
Life in conference play.
So if you're going around the horn right now, Villanova's just content with switching their screens out front.
Fremantle right hand, Jim, he has mastered that.
Yeah, I think Fremantle on the blocks and Dixon on the blocks. So you can answer more frequently.
Just head home if you let that happen.
Just trying to isolate Dixon in a lot of different looks.
Dixon again. He's short. Perkins with an offensive rebound and a foul. It's on Foster.
And we'll take a look at Fremantle here. Watch him try to hit body on body. And once you get that, it allows you, if you can move somebody back And Dixon's a pretty big guy to move back, but one time right here, he moves him back. Dixon loses his ground in terms of his footing, and that's when Fremantle can go to work and finish it off.
Dixon has scored the last 10.
Yeah, he's looking to score again right now.
Taking on Foster. Eric Dixon, All-American, and one.
The isolation, you can isolate him on the blocks, you can isolate him on the wing. That time they did it right on the front. And where you can't make a decision out front is if you're a perimeter player. See, one of these perimeter players, easy for me to say, has to help out. But what happens when they help out? He'll just kick it out for an open three. He has come alive, though, hasn't he?
Oh, my. You want to talk about just being silent. And you see the perspiration. He is working for it right now. 13 straight for Dixon. This crowd's starting to show some life.
There we go, a little bit of difference now in this set with Xavier. 4 guys have touched the ball, and each and every one of them tried to get to the paint area.
Turnover. The 13th by Xavier, 7 more than Villanova.
Yeah, Swain pointed to himself saying that was my fault, and it was because he was going to his left out front, tried to kick it back to the right. Just not a good delivery.
For Xavier, they're the 5th team out of Mike DeCourcy's projected field right now. Our bracket forecaster with new updates every Tuesday and Friday. Dixon turning, took the contact, and hooked on the line for a pair.
He wasn't off much on putting that shot.
A sleeping giant.
Kyle Neptune is going to get him the ball.
Just having a remarkable season.
And since under the 12-minute timeout, he's taken every Nova shot.
Hits the first 85% free throw shooter. One of just 3 in Villanova history to notch 2,000 or more points and 800 or more rebounds, joining Howard Porter and John Pannone.
Very nice.
Just having an unbelievable season. Foul here on Villanova. It's on Perkins. So now, what does Xavier need to do to respond?
Like I've been saying, I think you know, you look at the foul situation right now, and Villanova only has 2. Xavier has 7. Clearly, that's going to play into Villanova's favor with the way they shoot free throws. And I think you got to start moving that ball towards the basket, get to the free throw line.
Fremantle, way off.
Playing right into the hands of Villanova on that one. Fremantle hit earlier on in this game, but he's a 28% three-point shooter.
This is the largest Villanova's led. Dixon could not get the friendly bounce, or that would have been a separator by 9 had it gone.
Now look at the way they're closing the drives to the basket. Villanova's defense from the perimeter has been to watch out.
Oh, my. The turnover problem continues. Xavier with 14 giveaways.
Average just under 12, as we touched on. Enough to drive Sean Miller crazy over there. Especially that, I mean, it's nobody's fault. Foster didn't think he was getting it that quickly. He vacated. And by that time, it was too late.
Here's Brickus. 7 assists for Brickus as they go right back into Dixon. They bring the double, and that was well defended.
Sure was. Good reach in by Conwell. That was a bump.
Conwell with a kick. McKnight on the take. Off the window, Davion McKnight.
Yeah, you got to start throwing your body into the paint. I like what they just did the last couple of trips. 3 guys tried to get to the paint area from Xavier's perspective.
Right back down to 4 in a critical Big East matchup. Winner of this game takes over 5th place in the Big East. And the top 5 get a first-round bye in the conference tournament 4 weeks from now.
Every possession, they're trying to set Dixon up. That's what you have to do. Now you have to live with the 3, possibly.
Poplar's had a big day with over 20. He's fouled by Fremantle, and Villanova's in the bonus, so it'll be a 1-and-1.
Really smart play by Poplar to just then, and also very, very smart play by Villanova on that half-court set. They knew that Dixon was going to get double-teamed. They kicked it out. Instead of settling for a 3, he put it on the deck. Really smart.
Poplar, an 84% free throw shooter. That has been a constant, Jim, for Villanova over the years. And once again, at the top of the league, at 80% from the line, among the nation's best.
Yeah, that's what a minute or two ago I mentioned, when they had 7, now they have 8 team fouls, Xavier. Only 3 for Villanova. Clearly this free throw line may very well play a major part of this game coming down the stretch.
7th best team in the country in free throw percentage, and the lead is back to 6.
Eliminate the turnovers and make good decisions. Here's Xavier. Go to the basket. They are going away from the basket on most of their passes. You notice the last 3 passes were all passed away from the basket.
Yes. It's McKnight with 8. Fremantle on the bench right now with Hunter in. Down to 5. Maddox with 3. Maddox. It went off the rim, but it's picked up by Dixon. They've got numbers. Perkins calling a touchdown.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about that. Everybody on Xavier was crashing the board, so that opened up the back court to be able to throw it. But what you need to do is, if you're Dixon, just let it fly and drop it with backspin.
Timeout, Xavier.
They did. They have talent. They were pressing a little bit last week. But I think they're a team that if they could just stay healthy, that's been one of their problems for Brad Underwood, just keeping guys healthy. Be able to continue to get good rhythm. Let's see what Sean Miller draws up here.
In need of a bucket with Fremantle back in. Here's McKnight. Dixon with straight up defense. Tapped out to Fremantle.
Yeah, I like the way Sean Miller got him going to the basket on the first try.
Foster short. Fremantle with an offensive board. Fremantle and 1.
Whoa. Good decision there by Sean Miller on the sidelines. Guys, we gotta get to the free throw line. We gotta make them defend. We gotta try to get extra opportunities and look at them go after the glass. Fremantle in particular. Now he gets bumped, loses his balance. A good finish. He's got some good hands, doesn't he? I like a little flip shot. He gets a lot of spin on that with the one-hand shot.
His nickname, Big Frosty, could not cash in on the 3. And now Sean Miller is asking why that was a foul called on Foster.
Because Sean knows that if he doesn't get hit and he goes to the floor, he's going to be shooting free throws, by the way. Then that would have been a violation, a traveling violation.
It's the 4th foul on Foster. Was there contact?
Hard to tell. That maybe a little bit of a reach on the way up.
Perkins hits on the front end. James Breeding, Lee Castle, Tony Henderson, our crew. And like you said, puts him to the free throw line where Perkins is an 80% shooter like most of his team.
Yeah, coming in, he was 8 for 10 from the floor, from the free throw line. You got to pick up your pace here just a little bit if you're Xavier. Get a little bit more aggressive off the bounce.
Swain has been quiet in this one, just 4 points.
Look at the perimeter defense, though. Trademark marked by
a foul is called
for Villanova.
Is it on Dixon or Perkins? James Breeding looks. It's on Perkins.
It's only the 15th foul. We'll see what happens here as he goes across. Well, take your pick. There was a lot of hand action.
There was. 1 foul left to give for Villanova. Conwell with a floater. It's off. Uachi with the board, and now For a desperate Xavier team today, right on the bubble, things are not looking good.
Yeah, that was a terrific defensive effort, too, with the double team squeeze when he was driving to the basket. This is where the free throws.
Dixon, bullseye! Eric Dixon has 20. He had just 2 points through 25 minutes in this game.
Yeah, he just ran that one down from right to left and catching it in the nice rotation in terms of him filling it up. Somebody got bounced along the way there. Swain got hit.
A foul on Dixon, taking us to...
You've got to play those competitive games and get a win out of them, you know?
Got at UConn still to come, Marquette as well. But they've been in so many games, 4 one-possession games in the Big East. Is that for Foster? An open look, but front rims. And here's the other thing, Jim. Of course, Dixon's turned it on. Their defense has held Xavier in check. But when you think big picture, the one thing that you talk to Big East coaches about is, look, when we have to go up against an Eric Dixon and Wooga Poplar duo, on any night they can go off and win.
Well, that's what happened in that first half for Poplar, and then Dixon takes it over, and now you're seeing a little bit of a difference of defensive intensity here by Xavier, looking for jumping double team action, trying to get a deflection, but here's that pace that Villanova can play at.
Perkins, dagger.
Boy, has he been good this afternoon.
With 20 points.
Wow, this is at one point a close game. And then Dixon took over. The other guys are just falling in line.
Comwell fouled. Tyler Perkins with a season high 20 on 7 of 9.
And the patience, you look up, see the shot clock too. There's only 8 seconds left on the shot clock. So working the clock into their favor. A couple of things. Their methodic half-court sets will play into their strength at this point with the big lead. Their free throw shooting will also.
How about this? Scored 76 points. The 3 players with 20 or more in this between Perkins, Poplar, and Dixon. You're talking 63 of the 76. Comwell second. Couldn't hit either. Wow.
And it doesn't give him an opportunity to press or really pick up full court. No hurry if you're Villanova right now. The key is, though, once you get it down to about 12 seconds, get into it as if it's a very, very important point. Just don't take the air out of the basketball. Right now, you got to go strongly with it and be aggressive.
A 12-2 Villanova run. Dixon makes it 14-2. He had just 2 points with 11.5 minutes to go in this game. He's now got 22.
Well, how about the timing in the half-court set? He catches it at about 9 seconds and recognizes now's the time to go. You got to go up with this or no place at all.
Foster and 1. And a 14-2 Nova run. Look, you talk about it, just terrific scores and how they can get going. You won't find a quieter opening 30 minutes from Eric Dixon all season. And then it just...
Well, he hit that 3, straight on 3. Remember that one? And that just lit him up. The next time he got the ball, he drove to his left and scored. Then they posted him up next time. All good decisions by Kyle Neptune.
Yeah, 2:09, and they're going to bring the press.
They don't have no choice. They got to start scrambling. This is where Villanova, with their basically 4 guys with Dixon, but Dixon's a good ball handler. They're all good free throw shooters. As a team, they are. I don't know if you can just let them take this much time off the clock without running somebody at them.
Well, they did. Next foul means double bonus for Villanova. Dixon, and he is fouled. So you take all that time off the clock, and he's heading to the line anyways.
Yep. 85% free throw shooter.
Let's take a look at today's By the Numbers, sponsored by AT&T Business. Next level moments need the Next Level Network.
Look at the three-point shooting, too, for Villanova. We've spoken about Dixon a whole bunch here in the second half, which rightfully he deserves, but I think 12 for 23 is a pretty good number, but those turnovers are really a big number for Xavier. And think about they only averaged just about 12 a game. They had 9 at the half.
The first meeting between these two teams back on January the 14th that Xavier came back and won. They only had 11 turnovers. They forced 14. No giveaways. Totally different story in this one. And what a second half by the Wildcats. This was even at 33 at the break.
It's hard to believe. We thought we were going to have just a close one the whole way. And they just not let Xavier drive it to the basket at all. Look at the perimeter defense.
Maddox throws it up there. Count it.
I was watching Kyle Neptune. He worked his way all the way to half court with that defensive effort. But I think that's a great example. As much as this is a tough shot and it goes in, it's just the way Villanova has been playing this half-court defense and not allowing easy drives to the basket. And that's the type of shot you have to score on. Pretty good afternoon, though, huh, for Maddox?
With 24 points from right about now. St. John's will host the Creighton Blue Jays at Madison Square Garden. St. John's and Creighton own the two longest high major winning streaks in the country. St. John's has won 10 in a row. Greg McDermott has managed to win 9 in a row for the Blue Jays after they lost Pop Isaacs.
Yeah, both of those teams are doing so well, and both of those coaches are just showing what they're made of.
Who's that St. John's coach?
Yeah, I forget his name. Mr. Patino, Mr. McDermott, those guys just understand it. They get it. They get better and better, and they work with their personnel.
Broke right through the press to the Wildcats.
And the Sixers going to milk this clock now. They're going to. The question becomes if you're going to foul or not. You had to foul earlier in the shot clock, and it's like they're just going to play it out.
Sure are. With 6 on the shot clock. Rickus kicks, Poplar, and Xavier here down by 12, but obviously less than a minute. McKnight.
They got to pick it up a little bit too.
They did not, and well, that sums it up. Sean Miller said let's not foul, but Foster does come up with a steal. This a disappointing afternoon for the Xavier Musketeers. They really needed this game. Just one quad one win. This was the remaining quad one opportunity. And they'll rise to their feet, mostly in green. Back in 2018 when the Eagles won a Super Bowl, Villanova started the day with a win over Seton Hall. And on this Super Sunday, the Wildcats are a winner. And Philadelphia sure hopes that's the first of 2 big wins today.
That was just a remarkable second half.